With 3 games left in the regular season, our Stanford Cardinal are on the road down in Utah facing the Utah Utes. For the Cardinal, they need to pull out every stop to make sure they get what they deserve. And that shouldn't be a problem as Utah only has 3 wins on the season. Before them, the year couldn't have started any better. They picked up the win against the FCS team as well as against LSU in week 2. And after that game, they would lose 4 more until they picked up the win against Wyoming through a 4th quarter comeback. Once again, they would stumble the next 2. However, they did play a close game against current 2nd-ranked USC Trojans. 19-14, it would go to USC. And that points us into where we started this episode, talking about what we deserve, and that is not sitting behind USC, currently ranked 2nd, taking over that spot from our Cardinal. And need I not remind you that one loss for the Trojans was against our Cardinal. In week 5 of the regular season, we beat the Trojans 32-16 behind a dominant 4th quarter of play. And on top of that, USC isn't even the top team in the Pac-12. They're not even the 2nd team. They are the 3rd team. Our Cardinal coming into this one with a little chip on their shoulder, especially for Nathan Henderson, who's only played about the first half of the last couple games. He's still trying to keep his Heisman candidacy open. Unfortunately, the defense will be missing a key guy down the middle for the rest of this season, Maurice Alakai. Last game, he tore his pectoral. So we will be missing out on a very well-balanced guy who brings 85 power moves as well as 86 block shed. So that in turn opens up some playing time for Brian Manuel. He'll be a run stopper for us as he does have the 2nd best run stopping behind Alakai with that 79. When it comes to rotating in with that pass rush, Santiago Bullet, the redshirt freshman, will be stepping in as he provides 84 power moves as well as 82 finesse. But the primary man shifting to help fill in that role will be Alex Augustine, playing DT for what seems to be the remainder of this season. So as we get stuck on in here down in Salt Lake City, expect a little chip on the Cardinal shoulder. Ritter with the kick and we are underway. Set back to return is Hill. Upended back at the 14, I believe. That was Thrash, the receiver. But it will bring out Titus Cleland and this Utah offense. Now, so far this year, they've been more of a passing offense, despite the lack of success by Lord, their starting quarterback. As they start with a run here. That goes as just a gain of 1. Alex Augustine with a stop on a just action-packed front group here for the Stanford Cardinal, though dropping back to pass here and finding the check down is their new number 1 receiver this year in Rice. But it's a run on 3rd and 6 that loses a yard. Once again, it's Alex Augustine making the stop, but that gets the ball over to our offense where Wesovich has had a great stretch of games. His primary opponent will be Godecki, the linebacker of the Utes. As Wesovich cuts back right, he's going to pick up a gain of 6. And for the Utah Utes defense, they really have 2 guys they rely on. Godecki at linebacker and Book over at the left end spot. We'll see how big of an impact those 2 can have today. As it's Bargava across the middle who has the first down for the Cardinal. He's a guy this year who had a slow start, shifted around his position, and since then he's really taken off. They've got the freshman all the way across. And looking to go his way, Lockett can't hold on. It was placed in a good spot on the outside and high, but just unable to hold on is the young receiver. It's Jewell here on the carry, and he gets rocked. Lorenzo Lett with the hit. It's a loss of 1 and a 3rd and 11 here for the Cardinal as they go 2 spread to the left, 1 to the right. Sorensen with that hard count, and he gets movement on the outside. Neutral zone infraction on Dragosevich. They'll provide the Cardinal with a far more manageable 3rd down. Now they need just 6 yards, standing at the 40. Tight shotgun set here, facing a tight defense. Throwing out wide, and it is caught by Kramer, but short. Their tight ends made big plays this year, not able to that time. Hard count again as the offense stays out there, and the big DT will give them a free first down. A gift basket to Javier Henderson, number 71. Offense with a 1st and 10 with that penalty on 4th. Sorensen, he looks to go back to the air. And off the hip of Jewell. Now, he did get a bit banged up last week, but you would imagine he would still be able to see that ball was coming his way. Ball's incomplete at 2nd and 10. They go back his way on the ground, down the middle, and now he coughs that ball up, but diving on it is Lockett. For the 3rd time this drive, Cardinal get a bit lucky. And it's 3rd and 2. 2 spread either side. And they run counter. Jewell shows off the power and runs through the defender this time. I don't think we've seen that yet from the scat back here of the Stanford Cardinal. And end around, they got Ben Vallejo, who looks to cut back underneath. But just a great job from the defense to sit on that play. Forces a loss in a 2nd and 11. Tight shotgun look here from Sorensen. Hard count this time, no one jumps. Sorensen looking to step up here and will pick up about 5. He's been a terrific scrambling quarterback so far this year. Has them 3rd and 4 at the 11. Trips look to the right-hand side as Sorensen keeps checking his looks. Going back outside, and Kramer this time has the first. Cardinal do like going to their tight end inside that 20-yard line as we move just about to that 2-minute mark here of the first quarter. And they set up a slant, but instead, it's Sorensen looking to bounce, and he will find that pylon. Another scrambling touchdown run for Justin Sorensen, quarterback 1 of the Stanford Cardinal, having one of the cleanest seasons of any quarterback under head coach Barry Bearington. That's even with Gordon Draft being a Heisman candidate the last couple seasons. 1st and 10 for the Utes. As they throw outside, too high, caught out of bounds. Will be a 2nd and 10 then, and another incomplete pass here for Lord, whose average is sitting around 54. And that's going to be another pick. Manu Cave sets up the Cardinal at the 26. It's 12 touchdowns to 11 interceptions on the year for the Utah quarterback. And at some point, you just got to feel a little bad for the fans here who still are showing up. But their team is struggling. Cardinals starting plus side have a chance to quickly go up 2 scores as they go out to Jewell, and he drops another. It was a well-timed hit from the linebacker, but you still hope your guy holds on. 2nd and 10, short motion right-hand side in Lockett. And thrown out late to avoid the sack. Javier Henderson gets that pressure, was flagged on the previous drive. 3rd and 10. Hard count again, though it might be a Cardinal jumping early. No, it looks like ref indicating it's on the defense. We'll get Lorenzo Lett his 2nd penalty of the game, drawing Regas off sides. Gives the Cardinal once again a shorter 3rd down here at the 21. They throw right side, and it's Bargava in and out of his hands. With this Cardinal team hungry, getting the disrespect from the rankings board. They're going to keep their offense out here. Should have been another free play. They do not flag it, but it's out for Kramer, and that's going to be a 4th down touchdown. Stanford Cardinal double their lead here in Salt Lake City, going up 14-0 on the Utah Utes. And for the Utes, they've got to be a little bit worried. This Cardinal team is just coming off a 60-plus point game, which their offense only played the first half, or starting offense, that is. Second team put in work as it's a check down here. Gonna find Rice back to the line. The struggling offense does not like meeting up against this defense. As you can just see, there's All-Americans across the board as Henderson applies a big hit on Lord. He's lucky to get that ball out beforehand, but a 3rd and 10 back at the 17. And here comes Henderson again. He jars that ball free, and it's scooped up by Jason Blair. Another turnover plus side for the Stanford Cardinal. This time, though, they're not starting back at the 35. They're starting at the 6-yard line as Henderson, nearly untouched around the edge, punches that ball free. They only need 6 yards for 6 more points. Trying to set up a pass here under pressure, though. Sorensen, he shakes it. Shakes off another, but there's a quick defender to follow. A hard-earned gain of about 4 yards there. Sets him up 2nd and goal at the 2. And it'll be triple option here. Flipping that ball out late. And it's going to be Babineau recovering, but back at the 20. Plus, on top of that, I believe there was a flag down. They're going to get holding on Conklin, sending us to the break where the Cardinal have a decision to make how they want to attack a central 3rd and 20. Though the Utah Utes offense, they would love to have that kind of battle because they have -5 yards on the day. Before the Cardinal getting this second quarter underway, it'll be motion all the way across in Lockett as they snap that ball with next to no time, and under pressure, that ball will just flutter to the turf. Utah getting some pressure early on here in this game. Sends out Ritter. Right hash and sneaks it by the right upright. That'll tack on 3 here for the Stanford Cardinal, making it 17-0. But considering Stanford did start at the 6-yard line, Utah, they've got to feel pretty good about that. Starting at the 25 here, Lord, though, he needs to get their offense moving. As they set up a screen outside, it will be their first down of the game here, I believe. It's Caleb Kowalski out of the backfield. Empty set to follow as they look to set up another screen. The blocking is there as they go back to Kowalski. A gain of 4 this time. Sets up a 2nd and 6 and hurry up. Kowalski out of the backfield. He shakes one, but Rico body with a bodying tackle in open field. Brings him down, setting up another 3rd down. They need 6 more yards. Kowalski huffing and puffing back there as Lord is changing that call. 3rd and 6, it's a throw across the middle, and the big hit from Lovelace and Manu Cave bring the Ute down prior to the line to gain. And for the first time, it seems like in this game, the Stanford Cardinal are going to be starting way back, just by their own 10. It'll be the 11, with Joe Wesovich as he takes on the linebacker. A shorter gain that time for the Cardinal, just a gain of 2. As Wesovich immediately checks back off the field, we haven't seen him out there much today. And pressure builds, and we'll be back at the 1, Tyree Book. He's Utah's leading sacker with 7 on the year, make that now 8. Pushing the Cardinal back for another 3rd and 20, but standing in their own end zone. Will be another run. Wesovich with space to the outside, and a 1st down saving tackle. And just a great job from the corner and break to break on that run and to avoid a broken tackle. Wesovich known to run over some DBs. Gives Utah the ball, though, at the 37. Now they need a strong offensive drive, though Alex Augustine clogs that gap. Cleveland once again goes backwards. He's sitting around that 0 gain so far today with a handful of carries. Motioning all the way across, that'll be their main receiver in Rice, who wasn't aware of the sideline. That'll lose 3 more here for the Utes, and it's a quick 3rd and 14. Dropping back out of that double A gap look, they pass outside, and once again, they'll get the tackle just in time. Trading punts back and forth these last few drives. Cardinal, now their turn. At the 32, it's a single back set, and Wesovich tries to get outside, but it's a clean tackle. Miles Van Allen, so far, he's been prepared for Wesovich in this one. Haven't seen much from Godecki, who's supposed to lead them in tackles. Stepping up here and not sliding down. That ball is free, and jumping on it is Henderson. Was Sorensen's knee down before that ball came out? And no, it was a 2nd or 3rd hit on the play. After some celebration in the crowd, we are going to take a second look at this. Coach Barrington challenging the play, hoping that that knee was down. It was an awkward 2nd hit from the linebacker coming in. And getting a second angle on this, it's not quite clear on when that ball came out versus when the knee touched down. So the refs will say the play stands, not confirmed. 1st and 10, Utah at the 37. As they get motioned into the backfield, it's a counter that goes nowhere. So Bree, the Cardinal number 3 linebacker, helps bring him down. It's a gain of 1 and a 2nd and 9 with more motion going all the way across. As they bring the blitz, you could bring up 2 sacks there. Rico Body sent from the corner, and Nathan Henderson. Unfortunately for the two, they will have to split that sack. 3rd and 16. Lord once again with a long down and distance here. Passes outside and picked off by Kevin Salmon, who quickly flips those hips. He's headed down the sideline. It's a Salmon run to the 40. Another turnover on the day for Lord. And that gives him the same amount of interceptions as touchdowns this year. This is where the Cardinal really need to put their foot on the gas and take over this game. It's been a rough second quarter for them as they go to the air. Looking downfield. Going to come up a little short for Bargava, but the ball hits the turf. Just kind of seems like the Cardinal playing a little bit reckless out there in this one. Need to tighten up those screws. 2nd and 8. Babineau motions out to the left-hand side, making this a single back set. Wesovich cuts back towards the middle, and he picks up 3. Boyce gets the tackle and takes us inside the 2-minute break here with another 3rd down for the Stanford Cardinal. And again, they should have a free play with the jump, but they don't flag it. And Jewell holds on to this one. And it's the one to hold on to. Wheel route with the perfectly thrown ball from Justin Sorensen. Drops over the defender. And the Cardinal will add 6 onto that scoreboard. We'll just take one more look at it here. Under pressure, Sorensen lets that ball fly. And running underneath it and holding on, Taj Jewell. That gives the Cardinal a 24-0 lead here. 1:55 left in the first half. And number 5 here of Utah, though, finds something. Pass outside. Will find Cleveland. Unable to stay in bounds, though, he goes out with a gain of 9. Stopping the clock. Utah does have all their timeouts. And here comes Henderson for another sack. That's got to be 2.5, I believe, for him on the day. They're really trying to rack up those numbers, not only to get back to the top of that Heisman race, but for Henry on the other side, those two competing for who's going to lead the Cardinal in sacks. But unfortunately, after waiting so long, that hard count actually is going to pay off. Dragan jumps early after waiting for about 30 seconds. They lose time, but they do get a closer 3rd down, which might be pretty important for them. But Manu K with his 2nd on the day. Trahan brings him down quickly. But it's another interception. Now giving Lord more interceptions than touchdowns. At some point, you got to wonder, do you put in the young quarterback and see what he can do? For the Stanford Cardinal, their young quarterback is doing very well. Sorensen, just a sophomore out here, has been just thriving. Getting that one out rather than taking the sack. If he was able to step into that throw, he might have actually found Vallejo coming across. 2 receiver spread either side this time for Sorensen. Cardinal do have their timeouts. If they can find some big plays, going back across the middle into triple coverage. Very much a risky look there, but for Sorensen, he's gotten away with quite a few of those this year. 3rd and 10, hard count again, early jump though, no flag. This one is out to Taj Jewell, who tries to fight through that contact, but he's about 3 yards short. I don't view it as any surprise that the offense stays on this field. 4th and 3, hard count again, a lot of early movement. And it's going to be on the Utah Utes. It's Sorensen's bark that gets the 1st down. 2nd neutral zone infraction on Dragosevich. 1st and 10 with 58 seconds to go. Cardinal R plus side. Thrown under pressure and finding Bargava, who didn't look to be able to keep his feet after that catch. Cardinal go hurry up here, trying to preserve some time. The bunch to the left-hand side. It's 2nd and 1. Throw outside is Jewell, who slips the tackle as he gets out of bounds. Well, he's had some drop issues in this game. He's got a good burst if he could just get out in open spaces. 42 seconds left to go here. Utes bring the blitz. We're looking to throw behind it. They will find Lockett. And it will stop the clock for the Stanford Cardinal, who still have 2 timeouts in their back pocket. We see Cameron check in right-hand side. The true freshman receiver, goes in motion. Thrown underneath. They've got Thrash, who looks to have the 1st down, but the biggest problem out there is Lorenzo Lett, clutching at his knee. He's a big piece of this Utah front 7. Gonna have to exit this game for now. Hopefully we'll find his way back in the second half. Tight shotgun look here, and having to step up, it opens up, but there is a flag down as it looks like this one will be coming back. They get Pete Morton with that hold, and Coach Barrington will call a timeout coming off of that. 2nd and 20 back at the 27. Two receiver spread either side for Justin Sorensen. As he throws this one outside, he's got Lockett for another touchdown, and a late hit that will go unflagged on Hennessy. One of the few times in this game Utah gets away with a penalty, but the Cardinal will make it 31-0 before halftime, finally finding that back shoulder fade to Gordon Lockett. With a sense of urgency, got to give some props here to the Utes as they finally find some big plays, starting with their tight end Cormier making his way down the sideline, picking up a gain of 40 plus getting out. And then follow that up by going with another quick hitter on the outside, breaking the tackles this time. Their leading receiver in Rice would set them up for a field goal. After doing next to nothing the whole half, they might find some points here. It's a chip shot, but you never know with college kickers. But he will send it through. Utah gets on the board, make it 31-3 as we officially hit halftime. When you catch defenses sleeping, that's where you can find some big plays, and Utah did that there at the end. As for the Stanford Cardinal, it was expected they would come into this game running that ball with the success they've seen from Wesovich, even Bigums of late. Only 34 rushing yards, though 130 plus passing. Justin Sorensen, a pretty good first half, did have the fumble that was argumentative on whether that knee was down or not. But he responded by throwing multiple touchdowns, getting everyone well involved outside of Joe Wesovich. With the lead, we'll see what the Cardinal look to do in this second half. And the good news is, we don't have to wait long. It's Cardinal possession to kickstart the second half of play with motion across. It's Wesovich down the middle for limited gain. You could definitely say the primary back today has been Taj Jewell. Though back-to-back plays, Wesovich out there, that's good signs for the power back as they go back his way. And once again, Van Allen coming into this game. It was thought Godecki would be the main man, but it seems that's not quite the case here. Van Allen has been making bigger plays. We really haven't even seen Godecki. 3rd and 5, and they've got Kramer, another first down conversion. It's Hennessy with the tackle, but at the 37 means this Cardinal drive can keep on moving. Vallejo in motion. He's going to take that jet sweep with some blockers out in front. However, it looks like one of those blockers might have grabbed a little too much jersey. It might just be on Bargava. This is really one of the first games we've seen in quite some time where the Cardinal are being flagged almost just as much as the other team. 1st and 20 with a trips look right-hand side. Good coverage, and Sorensen, he's going to look to scramble here, getting outside and sliding down. And Lorenzo Lett appears to be a little injured again. Coming back from halftime, he tried out there, but just seems like that injury is a little bit too much. He'll make his way back to the sideline. We'll see if he tries to get back in later on. Jewell, though, with a carry. He busts this one outside, angling all the way outside. And tackled as he heads out of bounds. 1st and 10 for the Cardinal at the 46. Wesovich checks in with that trips look still to the left-hand side here. And stepping up again. There goes Sorensen. Ball is out yet again. And I think Utah recovers yet again. Did we say yet again enough in that one? Well, that one could possibly be reviewed and maybe even overturned. It looks too similar to that first one. So Coach Barrington, he's going to sit on that challenge in case it's needed. Henderson with his 3rd and a half sack of the game. After falling from that top spot in the Heisman race down to the 5th spot, he's trying to climb back up with a dominant performance coming off the edge. They look to hand this one off. Cleland, though, he's got grass. Good peel off there from Kevin Salmon. That will force Utah into a 3rd down. They need 9 to keep this drive alive. They tried the hard count. No extra movement up front. Lord sitting back there and throws, finding his receiver coming across in Trahan. No pass rush that time, left the play open, and the play action opens up this one. Cormier They found their tight end now for 2 first downs and back-to-back drives. Back into plus side. Play action and throwing to Lovelace. They try to go back to Trahan. And it's the same play they had last time. Cardinal read it and turn that ball over. What's that, the 3rd or 4th interception on the day here for Lord? Might need to put in QB2. Now as the Cardinal take the field, it's not even QB2 out there. It's QB3 in-house. Sorgi got to play their last game. Looks like they're getting the quarterback rotation going here. As it stands, that is the only position to have rotated. Hopefully it's not a sign of injury. House, though, takes a good hit there on the delayed blitz. 3rd and 6 with that screen falling incomplete. Hard count, no one jumps for House. As he steps up, he delivers. Bargava, he's got the first down. I don't think the Cardinal have had a game in the last few where the first team for either offense and defense has played a complete game. Wesovich takes a forearm shiver. Credit that one to Van Allen, a linebacker who is a great linebacker in of itself on his own means. Another All-American here for the Utah Utes. Thrown under pressure, delivers to Vallejo, who puts the spin on break as he breaks it to the outside. 10-5 touchdown, Ben Vallejo. The senior receiver of the Stanford Cardinal, not known for his speed, but he sure had plenty of it on that one. Takes the curl to the house. Cardinal up 38-3. And credit House as well for hanging in there and taking the hit. Lord's still, though, in for the Utah Utes. They have not gone to their backup quarterback, despite all the turmoil around that quarterback spot this season, as Rice gets dumped. The loss of one as Rico Body and company bring him down at the 24. And Dragan nearly jumps off sides, but he's back onside as Blair brings down Cleveland. Good seeing him make a few more plays this game, again, as he's now the primary DT. Alex Augustine filling in the middle. As they dump this one, it'll be Cormier. But short of the line to gain, it forces another punt. Cardinal take over, 44 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter, and they're already up by 35 points. And looking to get to the outside here, Wesovich with a truck, but tripping over some down defenders as now Henderson is a bit banged up. That's now both of Utah's DTs out of this game, so we'll see how they can handle any runs down the middle. But as for now, it looks to be Jewell on the outside trying the spin move. Fortunately for he and the Stanford Cardinal, goes to no avail. 3rd and 3. As that clock is ticking down here in the 3rd quarter. Should be the final play. As they go counter, Wesovich stuck behind the blocks. Boyce comes in to make the tackle as Godecki appears to be a little bit banged up here. Might be an ankle injury. But we'll take this one to the break as both teams get things sorted out. A 4th and inches for the Stanford Cardinal as they're trying to jump ahead of USC and Ohio State to claim their #1 spot. As for some of the fans here in Utah, they're still having fun despite their team being down 35 points. Second team offense checks in the game here with 4th and 1. And it's Babineau for the first down. Cardinal just keep rolling. And coming in with this group is indeed Sorgi, who's played a very clean game behind Justin Sorensen. So both quarterbacks going to see some playing time here today. Floating that one out, it's Babineau shaking the tackle and another first down. Always got to love when the fullback is able to make plays, especially back-to-back plays. 1st and 10. And there's just terrific flow. Van Allen. He's just been all over the field here for the Utah Utes defense. They're a standout player for sure. 2nd and 12. And it will be a pass outside. Gonna find Thrash with the spin move. He runs through Cameron. And Hankerson is down again here for the Utah Utes. It went off the field, got that ankle taped up, but it doesn't seem to be providing enough stability for it. 3rd and 5, Cardinal. With a strong pistol set, short motion left side, thrown quickly across the middle, and it's Thrash. He's coming off a big game, a 3-touchdown day. And again, he wasn't even starting that one. Cameron spread out to the left-hand side. He also had a touchdown. The true freshman here of the Cardinal. The wide open again is Thrash. He's just racking up yards and thrashing defenses. You ought to know I was going to hit that pun for sure. At the 13, the Cardinal, 1st and 10. Tight shotgun look. They let this play develop across the middle. Madu stopped down at the 1. Cardinal close to tacking on another set of points here, making it 45. As they're back in a tight shotgun look. And it's Bigums wrapped up in the backfield. Bill Ancrum makes the tackle, having to fill in for their injuries up front. Sorgi on the keeper, and he can just walk into the end zone. Cardinal blocked that one to perfection, and they still find their 45th point of this game. Just about 5 minutes to go. We'll see if Utah can pull out anything from here. And in all honesty, they really should be able to. The second team Cardinal defense has not performed very well the last couple weeks. Bullet, though, he's getting pressure, and he will drop Lord back to the 5. Talked about him getting some pass rush snaps this week, especially with the injury to Alakai. And he shows up. This has not been a fun game for Lord, but he's hanging in there. He's made a lot of bad plays, but he hasn't quite given up on this game. As he rolls, gets that one out before taking another sack. For that pressure to Ty Ekiyor coming off the left-hand side as Henderson's day is done. Pass across the middle is caught on Doss, but a 4th and 7 as Cormier couldn't break away. And for Lord, despite a pretty bad season, he does pass the 2K mark. Well, from there, the Cardinal will just run out that clock and walk out of here with a 45-3 win over the Utah Utes. Now, will that be enough to convince those voting on the rankings to put our Cardinal up higher? Justin Sorensen comes out with 4 touchdowns, under 150 yards. He had a couple fumbles in this game scrambling. But outside of that, it was a clean game. The offense still got the job done. Defense, outside of 2 passing plays and giving up that field goal, completely shut down this Utah offense and just absolutely wrecked the stats of Lord. And Nathan Henderson might help out his Heisman candidacy by taking home your Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Week, though they only count 3 sacks, and we know that's not quite the case. But what is the case is him also taking home the National Defensive Player of the Week with 6 total TFLs. And as we move into the big game week, we see Nathan Henderson jump 2 spots, skipping over Ian Bayless. Dwayne Fung, I don't remember if he was on that list or not, but the only other team standing in our way right now is Ohio State, and we beat them in last year's national championship. I know taking on Trevor Azur. Garcon, I don't remember, but I also feel like Azur did win the Heisman last year. I could be wrong on that. Double check and let me know in the comments. But we still have 2 big games left to go here in the regular season, and these 2 games shouldn't be as easy as the last few have. The big game is up next on Friday. Don't miss it. Hit that bell icon on the bottom right or scroll down and hit that sub button and tap that bell icon so you're notified of when it goes live, as well as all my other videos. But after the big game, we have another one, and that's going to be your regular season finale against 7th ranked Boise State, who are 9-2 on this year. And they were the last team to beat us, closing in on, I believe, 40 games ago. So we've been stacking up wins. We don't want to drop another, especially right before we get to the playoffs. But honestly, even before then, we have the Pac-12 championship as we look to four-peat that. Right now, it looks like Washington should be the number 2 team. However, they have USC right behind, and you've got to be kidding me with that number 1 ranking. USC is at the top, coming off of a 31-30 win over Arizona State, yet they go up after we just decimated Arizona State. UCLA, please beat them for us. As for Ohio State, they did lose to Notre Dame, one of our rivals, 28-14. I don't know what USC is paying those who are voting. Might have been the money that they used to explode the Pac-12 before we rebuilt it, but there's something going on here. So let's finish strong these next 2 weeks and show the Trojans what's up. To help the boys do that, make sure you leave them a big old thumbs up down below, as we've got the Golden Bears up next. We'll see you there, and we'll see you throughout this week with Cha-Cha Vaz in St. Louis, as well as the Jacksonville Jaguars. I believe a triple header coming up on Wednesday, before we get back to Palo Alto, set to take home that Stanford axe yet again.